Introduction of phishing attacks and security tools in financial institutions. Financial institutions are major targets of cyber attacks due to sensitive data. Phishing is a common attack where employees are tricked into sharing login details. In this case, phishing attacks allow attackers to access the bank system and steal financial data. The attacks succeed because of weak security measures, such as lack of email filtering and multi-factor authentication, which is MFA. This case highlights the most importance of strong security measures to protect financial data and maintain trust. The analysis of phishing attack. Firstly, statistics and examples. Phishing is one of the most common cyber attacks used to spread malware. In 2023, many attacks began with phishing emails. The use of AI has made phishing more dangerous because emails now look professional and realistic. For example, keyboard malware mainly spread through phishing emails. Secondly, how phishing attacks work. Phishing attacks usually start with emails, messages, or social media posts. Attackers collect personal information from public sources to make messages look real. These messages often pretend to come from trusted organizations like banks or universities. Victims are tricked into clicking or opening attachments that lead to fake websites and used to steal login or payment details. Thirdly, common phishing techniques. Attackers use social engineering to create fear or urgency. They use fake websites that look similar to real ones, which is typo quoting. Email spoofing makes messages appear to come from trusted people. URL shortening and hidden links are used to hide dangerous websites. 4. Types of phishing attacks. Email phishing targets many people at once. Spear phishing targets specific individuals. Rolling targets senior staff or executives. Smishing uses fake text messages, while vishing uses phone calls. Angler phishing happens on social media using fake company accounts. Lastly, the signs of phishing. Phishing messages often create urgency or chase. This message tone may feel unusual. Users may be asked to do strange actions like installing software. Some messages contain spelling error. Email addresses or links may not match the real organization.
Phishing attacks occur because of three main weaknesses: human physiology, weak technology, and poor organization practices. In this case, phishing emails were able to reach employers because there were no strong filtering system in place. The attackers then took advantage of human emotion by creating messages that felt urgent, appeared to come from authority figure like the IT department, or spark curiosity. Since multi-factor authentication was not used, stolen password alone allowed the attacker full access to the system. On top of that, the organization lacked layered security control, making it easier for attacker to succeed. Overall, the breach did not happen due to a single failure, but because multiple weak defenses combined with predictable human behavior, turning a simple phishing email into a serious cyber incident. From a human physiology perspective, attackers craft messages that take advantage of natural threats such as trust, curiosity, urgency, fear of authority, and even greed. This emotional trigger causes employees to react quickly and overlook logical judgment. Technologically, phishing is made easier through email spoofing, fake website, disguised URL, and ready-made phishing kit available on the dark web, which allow attackers to create realistic login pages and malicious code with little effort. Although email remains the most common method, phishing has now expanded across SMS, social media, messaging apps, and even voice call, increasing the risk of exposure. Organization factor also play a major role, as many companies lack consistent security training, strong email filtering, and anti-spoofing measure. On top of that, a weak reporting culture where employees hesitate to report suspicious message due to fear of blame further delay response and increases vulnerability. Altogether, this human, technological, and organization element combine to make phishing a highly effective method for attackers.
Okay, now I will talk about the impact of phishing attacks. There are four impact of phishing attacks. First, financial loss. Phishing attacks can make the financial losses because the cybercriminals will obtain victims' banking credentials and exploit them to conduct unauthorized transactions, transfer funds, withdraw money, or fraudulently apply for loans and credit facilities. This will leaving the victims and financial institutions facing the significant monetary damage and lengthy recovery processes and also additional administrative costs. Second, loss of privacy and data security. Phishing attacks can compromise the confidentiality of sensitive personal and financial information, such as account details and transaction records, which can be misused for identity theft, sold on illegal online markets, or leveraged to launch further scam. The, and this is also can exposing the victims to prolonged privacy violations and increase vulnerability to future cyber threats. Third, reputational damage to financial institutions. Successful phishing attacks incidents will undermine the reputation of financial institutions by eroding the customer trust in their abilities to safeguard sensitive data and while also attracting the legal consequences and negative media attention. This all will lead the customer attraction and long-term damage to the institution's credibility and market position. And lastly, increase the exposure to future cyber threats. This one of the impact because a successful phishing attack will reveal weaknesses in an organization's security control and user awareness. This will signal to cyber criminals that the system is vulnerable, which increase the likelihood of repeated and more sophisticated cyber attacks. And also, this will use of stored credentials and deeper network intrusions that threaten overall cybersecurity resilience.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today I will be discuss the critical role of network security in our digital workspace. Our primary challenge is unsecure network access. When employee access internet system via remote or public network, they open the door to significant risks, such as packet sniffing, where attackers capture sensitive data and expose entities that are vulnerable to brute force attacks. We implement a virtual private network VPN. A VPN securely creating a protected communication channel for all remote access. VPN technical architecture and application. Moving on the technical side, how does a VPN actually work? It establishes an encrypted point-to-point tunnel between our internal system. The core function include data packet encryption, strict authentication mechanism, and IP address masking to hide our internal network structure. In practice, the VPN acts as our first line of defense by making VPN usage mandatory and using certificate-based authentication on bank issue device. We ensure that even if a phishing attacks occur, our internal server remains safe. VPN impact and introduction to encryption. The strategic benefits of a VPN are clear. It ensures confidentiality, maintains network integrity, and helps us meet regulatory standards like ISO 27001. However, we must also prepare for a scenario where authentication might be bypassed. Without further protection, we face data exposure. If attackers gain access to plain text data, the consequences are severe, ranging from financial fraud and identity theft to heavy regulatory penalties and permanent reputational damage. This leads us to second layer of defense, encryption. Finally, let's look at our encryption strategy. Encryption is the process of converting plain text into unreadable ciphertext using advanced algorithms. We focus on two main implementations. First is AES-256 data at rest to protect our database, logs, and backups. Second is TLS 1.3 data in transit to secure communication and prevent season hijacking.
Multi-factor authentication (MFA). MFA is a multi-step login that requires more than just a password to verify identity. The logic is simple: passwords are no longer enough. We are implementing a system that requires a combination of what you know, what you have, and what you are. This is our most powerful tools against phishing. Even if a staff member accidentally enters their password into a scam site, the hacker is stopped because they don't have a physical hardware key or biometric scan. This layer defense ensures that even if one door is open, then the attacker cannot move laterally into our core financial server. Looking at the business impact, MFA is not just a recommendation, it is a necessity. Our previous breach was rooted in single factor vulnerabilities. By moving to MFA, specifically phishing resistant hardware tokens, we align ourselves with FFIEC 2021 compliance standards. This doesn't just check a box for regulators, it sends a clear signal to our customers that their funds and private data are protected by international cybersecurity best practice, effectively restoring the trust that was damaged by the recent incident.